All right, we are live on Dodgers Digest talking about, of course, the unfortunate loss by the Dodgers last night in Game 5 of the World Series. I'm Mike Nelson. It was, of course, not what we expected. The Dodgers, winning, taking a 2-1 lead after, winning that 18-inning game. And then, of course, as I drop my hat here, as I take my headphones off, but we did not expect the Dodgers to, lose this like this the last couple games. It was definitely a very rough last couple days for us Dodger fans. I think, what's going to happen next, right? I think now it's definitely an uphill battle, like I talked about last night for the Dodgers. It will be an uphill battle, having to win. Have to go on the road and win a couple games, and it's going to be rough, right? It will be definitely rough for sure for the Dodgers, having to go on the road and all that. But it's not impossible, as we know. It's not impossible for the Dodgers. They still, mathematically, the series is not over yet. Somebody's got to win 4 games, and the Dodgers can still do it. Tomorrow, the Dodgers have their best pitcher on the mound, right? They have their best pitcher on the mound. When it comes to Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and that makes a big difference, right? I think Yoshinobu Yamamoto could definitely have a great game, and force this to a Game 7, right? And then in the Game 7, anything can happen. Tyler Glasnow will be the starter, but definitely we are concerned. I think it's just you feel bad. I mean, at least I do. At least I feel bad about how it's been going the last couple days because, on Tuesday, when Monday, I should say, the game ended, of course, very late on Monday night. When the Dodgers won that 18-inning game, you kind of expected the Dodgers were going to just kind of win the next couple games, right? I mean, at least that's how I saw it. I thought the momentum was definitely on the Dodgers side, and they were going to just roll over the Blue Jays the next couple days, right? That's kind of what I expected, but it didn't happen, right? They just did not get the job done. They did not get the starting pitching, I think, that they needed. I think that's the main issue. The starting pitching was just not there, right? The last couple days, was not there. Tyler Glasnow and Blake Snell just didn't bring it. They did not bring it, plain and simple. Both of them were not good enough. And obviously, the glaring thing about the Dodgers the last couple of days is the offense. It's completely disappeared. Mookie Betts and Shohei Ohtani have completely, disappeared and have not done much. It's just it's rough. I mean, I think I mentioned this yesterday. If the Dodgers go on to lose this World Series, this will be one of the toughest World Series losses in franchise history. At least, I mean, in my lifetime, seeing the Dodgers lose in 17 and 18. 17 was heartbreaking, losing Game 7 at home, and then later finding out that Houston cheated. And then, that was bad, right? And then 18 wasn't as bad because, I mean, the Dodgers were underdogs against Boston, and we didn't have home field, so it wasn't as bad, I think, in 18. But that was the last time the Dodgers lost the World Series, right? In 2020, they won in the bubble, and then of course last year winning it all. But this is gonna sting, I think, if the Dodgers go on to lose this. This is gonna feel just like it felt like in 17. You felt like the Dodgers had an opportunity to win that year, especially playing at home and then losing the last game. And this time around, the Dodgers don't have home field, but Game 4 and 5 is what we're going to look back on, right? I think that's what we're going to look back on as kind of a blown opportunity if things don't turn around here, right? What's up, Fluid Eye? We also got what's up, Brian? Tanner Jack saying we ain't winning, we're losing the World Series. A lot of fans think it's over, but of course, it's still not over yet. It's definitely it's been rough to watch, right? Fluid Eye saying they look so defeated. It is sad. Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers look really deflated and defeated right now. I think you said deflated, right? They look so deflated right now. It's rough. I mean, it's definitely, like I said, the last couple days have been rough to watch. They've been some of the worst losses for the Dodgers in a long time, right? In a very long time. Going back to probably 2 years ago when they got swept by Arizona. That's probably the last time that I felt this way. Remember the Dodgers losing the first two games at home at Dodger Stadium, and then they end up just losing Game 3 in Arizona and getting swept. This is kind of that similar feeling, right? You felt like the Dodgers just kind of didn't do anything to win, right? They just kind of rolled over and let the other team win. But yeah, I mean, it's just definitely, I think a lot of Dodger fans upset right now because we expected more. I think a lot of fans expected a lot more from the team, right? I think we expected the Dodgers to, bring a better effort the last couple days, right? I mean, think about it. The Dodgers had a 2-1 lead in this series, and they had a big opportunity to, win it in 5, right? A huge opportunity to just win it in 5, and they didn't do it, right? They just did not do it, and now look at where they are now. I mean, they're in a really tough spot now, and having to go on the road to Toronto is not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. I think it's definitely it's not impossible, but I do think the chances of this, going our way, are not very high, right? They're very slim. The Dodgers winning 2 games on the road, if they do, it would be historic. We'll be definitely celebrating Saturday night, but that's the question is how do we get there, right? How do the Dodgers get there, right? How do the Dodgers get to Game 7 and win? I think that's the main issue. How do we get there? We got a question here. What do you think of the hitting coach? I guess you're talking about Aaron Bates and I can't even pronounce his last name. Robert Van. I never been able to pronounce his last name. I mean, I don't know. Hitting coaches, I don't really blame. I know some people will probably blame Dave Roberts and the coaching. I don't think it's their fault this time around. I really don't think so. I think this is going to be on the players because, the Dodgers, especially yesterday, how are you going to win a game with your starting pitcher giving up 2 home runs, in the first 3 pitches? How are you going to win the game? It's just unacceptable. There's just no excuse for that. I don't care which team it is. There's just no excuse. Blake Snell gets signed for all this money, and then look at what he does in the World Series, 0-2. There's just no excuse for that. I think that's going to be what we're going to look back on. Sure, the hitting was, bad the last couple days, but pitching wasn't that good either. And, like Tanner's saying here, the highest payroll in baseball, can't hit the ball. Amazing. Yeah, I mean, highest payroll, and, the Dodgers just did not hit. And like he's saying also, not like the Jays have amazing pitching. Yeah, they don't have amazing pitching. The Dodgers offense is just completely imploded here. And yeah, I mean, that's basically what we're seeing here. We're seeing basically a complete collapse here by the Dodgers before our eyes. And it's probably, it's probably over, right? A lot of fans saying it's done. As a fan, you're always hoping that it's not, right? That somehow the Dodgers will come back. I think that's what every sports fan, right? Even when your team is down 3-0 or whatever, in this case down 3-2, now going back on the road, you always have that hope that it will turn around for you, right? But I guess if you're being realistic, it is going to be a challenge, right? It's going to be super challenging. It might even be challenging to win Game 6, right? I mean, the momentum is so much on Toronto's side here that winning Game 6, is going to be a challenge, right? I think that's going to be a big challenge for the Dodgers. It's not going to be easy winning that Game 6 because I think Toronto, wants to avoid a Game 7. I really think I don't think they want to go to a Game 7, right? I think they want to close this out in Game 6. Game 7, Sure, the Dodgers have Tyler Glasnow has had his issues, but I think Toronto wants to close this out, and it's going to be a challenge. Fluid Ice saying agreed. Tanner saying, do you think that week off busted their momentum? Yeah, I think that's a good point there, Tanner. I think the week off was looking back on it, it kind of affected the Dodgers, right? They swept the Brewers on Friday, and then they didn't play until the next Friday. It was 7 days. So we have not seen the same Dodger team offensively since the Brewers series. I really think so. We have not seen that same spark. Sure, there was some moments in this series, but really the Dodgers offense has been kind of dormant the whole World Series in the 5 games. I think it has not been clicking, and then it just, the last 2 days, it just really went nowhere, right? But now the question is, going on the road, obviously I think the momentum is on Toronto's side, but what do the Dodgers do to get back in this series, right? I mean, the only way they get back in this series is they have to somehow, take the lead early. Take the lead early is going to have to be key tomorrow, right? Try to get out ahead, take a 2-3 nothing lead, and then you'll be feeling a lot different as a team, right? I think if the Dodgers do what Toronto did, yesterday, if they score a couple runs in that first inning, then we're in business, right? I really do think so, especially with Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the mound. But the challenge is, do the Dodgers really have it in them? Because that's a good point. That like with Fluid Ice saying they look so deflated. I mean, do the Dodgers really have anything left? Right? Do they even have anything left in the tank? Right? Because at this point, they look like they have nothing left. Right? They look like there's absolutely nothing left there. The last couple, it seems like that 18-inning game just took out everything out of the team. Like it just basically, it dried out the team, whatever. It used up the whole team's energy in that 18-inning game. And they played 2 baseball games, sure, basically back-to-back. Basically like doing a doubleheader. And then the last couple of days, it just wasn't there. They had nothing left. There was just nothing. The Dodgers never had a chance to win the last 2 games. Plain and simple, they never had a chance to win, and that's what's really concerning, right? Because if you would have said, okay, the Dodgers lost in an extra inning game on Thursday or yesterday, or they lost on a walk-off home run and they lost on a bad call from the umpire, or back and forth 7-7 game, Toronto wins 9-7, okay, but the Dodgers never had a chance to win game 4 and 5. They never had a chance to win, right? They never were in the game, ever. Yesterday, they never had a lead. Sure, they took a little bit of a lead in game 4. Didn't really help, right? Did not really help. They surrendered the lead after the Guerrero Jr. home run, and they have not had it since. So, that's it. I mean, it seems like the whole series has shifted on that 2-run homer. Then what? I mean, yeah, I mean, so that's what I mean. So, like, do the Dodgers really have anything left? And it's like, that's the main issue, right? That's the main issue, I think, for the Dodgers. And yeah, I mean, it's concerning, right? We got a Fluid Eye saying that is a question. Calls, we'll try to have calls maybe next time, not today. But yeah, I mean, it's just definitely difficult, right? It's difficult for the Dodgers. Difficult as a fan right now to watch this team. Definitely super difficult to watch. It's been a challenge to watch these baseball games because they've been stressful to watch, right? I mean, I think even the Dodgers win on Monday was very emotionally draining. 18 innings. Yeah, Fluid Eye saying sorry, bad umpire calls. I mean, I there's been some questionable calls, but I wouldn't like say it's made a huge difference. I think in reality, I think it's more the players themselves here. And yeah, I don't think I just think the Dodgers they really blew it here. I mean, I think that's it. I mean, if the Dodgers lose this World Series, we're gonna say they blew it. I mean, that's it. I mean, they blew the World Series. They don't find a way to come back. This is don't want to talk about that yet because they haven't lost it yet, but it's not looking good right now, right? It's definitely not looking good. But we'll definitely have, we're going to talk about this more after Game 6 and hopefully after Game 7, right? But yeah. What's up, Craig? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate everybody who always tunes in here on Dodgers Digest. Make sure to like the video and also subscribe if this is your first time seeing the channel. But yeah, it's definitely the last. It's rough, man. This is a rough time for the Dodgers right now. If it's rough for us, imagine how they're feeling right now, right? Imagine they have to fly all the way to Toronto after losing 2 games, and I think that's where it gets challenging mentally, right? I think that's where mentally sometimes people lose the series because it's just hard. I think these guys are human and they lose a couple games like this, and then they start thinking, man, like, we're done, right? I mean, sure, there's going to be, I'm sure, Dave Roberts and coaching staff and the leaders on that team, Clayton Kershaw and Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman, those guys, those leaders that talk to everybody. I'm sure that they're sitting right now and telling everybody, it's not over yet. We got to keep going. But at the back of their mind, I think deep down they feel like they blew an opportunity here. I think they cannot get around that. I think the Dodgers know they had a big opportunity to win the World Series at home. I think it's just that simple. They had a big opportunity to win the World Series at home, and they didn't get it done. And now they have to go on the road, right? And Toronto has all the advantages now. And they're going to, they're going to try to win. Toronto's trying to win a World Series for the first time in 32 years. So this is their time here. I mean, Toronto as a city hasn't really had anything to celebrate either. So this is their big moment. And I think a majority of, sports pundits and baseball experts would say that that the Dodgers are going to lose a series, right? I mean, it's that simple. Going on the road, I think a lot of people are thinking that they're not going to get the job done. Craig saying Jay's just doing the little things better than the Dodgers. Yeah, I mean, they're doing everything better. The little things, it's just, they're just playing straight up better in every sense. I mean, Joe Davis said it on the broadcast yesterday. The Toronto Blue Jays are outplaying the Dodgers in every sense. He said it. Our own guy said it on the air. So I agree with Joe Davis. I agree with him. I mean, he said it. They're outplaying the Dodgers in every sense. Both sides of the ball, everything. So can't win a World Series game that way. You just can't. Because it just hasn't been close. It has not been close. What's up, Mina? Definitely a rough morning. Also, we got Tanner saying Jays are not trying to hit home runs only. Yeah, I mean, definitely just trying to, get on base, get the hits. That's been what they're doing as well, right? Carl saying the issue is the bats. They've been a problem since July. Definitely some inconsistencies for sure. But I think also the starting pitching, I'll keep saying it. I don't think the starting pitching was good enough the last 2 days. It's just not good enough. Craig saying Yamamoto is a warrior. He will lead them back. I hope so, Craig. I hope Yamamoto can have a great start on Friday night. Because the Dodgers need it, right? The Dodgers definitely need a start like that. They need Yamamoto to step up, go deep in the game. And, they need it right now. This is what they need. They need Yamamoto to have they need him, right? I think Yamamoto has to step up and have a big start where the Dodgers are just not going to get the job done, right? They're going to lose the series, and that's it. ADM is saying no George Springer, and we still blew both games. Yeah, I think that is definitely a great point there, ADM. I talked about this on the post game. No George Springer, right? I mean, I think when George got hurt in Game 3, at the time I thought this is a big injury, right? Hasn't made a difference. It has not made a difference at all. Toronto's still winning without him, so. That is. I don't even know if why would George Springer even play on Friday? I mean, Toronto's winning without him, so I don't think we'll even see George the rest of the series. They've found a way to win 2 games on the road without him, so Yeah, that's bad too. Carl saying I think the pitching would improve if the pitchers see their team with some runs. Yeah, I mean obviously the run support, get some runs on the board, um, take some pressure off your pitcher, right? Kind of like what we saw with Yamamoto on game 2, right? Dodgers scored some runs and took some pressure off him. So yeah, I think that's a good point there, Carl. I think the Dodgers need to score some runs. Just to get the pressure off of the starting pitcher. Craig is saying Dodgers didn't learn from Game 4, put the bat on the ball and avoid pitches outside the zone. And Rojas should have played if Edman can't play center field. I mean, they played basically Game 4 and Game 5 were almost like a mirror of each other. A couple games the Dodgers just played very poorly. Game 4 was a little closer, right? It was 2-1 late. But yeah, and then they left Ohtani in an inning too long, and they just the wheels came off, right? So I don't know. I think it's just hard to know. I think Friday, Toronto could just go in there and just win the game, right? I mean, I think that's a strong possibility. They're just going to go in there and win because they're playing at home, and that's it. They win the game. It's over. You know what I mean? It's just I think. And then, it won't really matter what the Dodgers do. Like, they just, the momentum and all that. I mean, it's a strong possibility they could just get blown out, right? The way it's looking, it's just, sadly, I think, Yamamoto has to be really good, really, really good, right? I think this has to be another, historic. He already had a couple big starts. That's got to continue, right? That's got to continue, or the Dodgers are not going to win. So, definitely, I think that's a big question mark, right? I think what kind of Yamamoto we're going to see is an issue here. What is going to be a big talking point for sure. Fluid Eye is saying we need Mad Dog Rojas. Yeah, I mean, I think the Dodgers. I don't know. I don't really blame the personnel decisions. I think we've had the best guys out there, and I think they should have got the job done. With what they had out there. I just don't. I don't think there was really room for move. I mean, even you were talking about this. What is it? A few days ago about having Blake Tryon on the roster and all that kind of stuff, and Anthony Banda. But I mean, that's the best. That's what the Dodgers have right now. That's the best that they have. That's why they're on the roster. So I don't really blame the personnel. There, I think it's just more about the players themselves are not getting the job done. I think the hitting is just not there, right? I think the offense has just disappeared. ADM is saying difference between last year's the Dodgers bats were not expanding the zone. They made the pitchers work and grind them down. Yeah, this year that's definitely not the case. Craig saying our 2 extra wins were in the Red Series. Winning a couple extra games then, but yeah, now they're going to need 2 more, right? I think they're going to need to win 2 more here on the road. And it's definitely a challenge. It's not impossible, but, it's at least I that's a good stat. I'm going to look it up right now, but I don't recall the last time a road team came back on the road like that and won Game 6 and Game 7. If somebody wants to check, but I don't remember that happening in recent memory, at least in the last 20 years. I don't recall that happening, right? The road team winning both Game 6 and Game 7. That's the, I think that's the main thing here. I think historically, it's usually, like it says right here, so 74% of the time, so 20 out of 27 times, by taking a 3-2 lead, by going back home, they've won the World Series. So only 7 times a team has done what we're talking about here, right? Winning Game 6 and Game 7 on the road. That's the only time. So the last time that happened, I just looked it up right now, was obviously in 2016, right? 2016, the year the Chicago Cubs and the Cleveland, back then Cleveland Indians, now the Cleveland Guardians. That year, Chicago won Game 6 and Game 7. Because you got to remember that year, the Chicago Cubs were down 3-1, right? So the Cubs won Game 5 at Wrigley. and then they won Game 6 and Game 7 in Cleveland. So it's not impossible. The Cubs did it in historic fashion for sure, but it's going to be a challenge, right? I think it's just not impossible, but it is. I think it definitely is. It's not impossible, but it's really going to be a challenge. Dodgers have done it, correct saying, but maybe 1981, before 1981, right? Yeah. It's a long time ago for sure. But, it's definitely, I think history is not on their side, I think, for the Dodgers, right? It's just definitely not on their side with these losses here. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in here this morning. Make sure to like this video. Make sure to also subscribe to the channel. This is your first time seeing the Dodgers Digest. We got another comment here from Carl Tanner. Scott's career stats for 2024 was 4 ERA. I was shocked. The Dodgers thought he could be our closer after one good season. Yeah, I mean, I think he had a great 2024, but then he's kind of gone back to what he usually is. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Gotta keep the faith. It is tough right now. We'll be talking again next tomorrow night, right after the game. Hopefully talking about a Dodgers win, but we'll be back tomorrow right here on Dodgers Digest. As always, let's go Dodgers. Woo!